already.
Alright, I started. So we're gonna begin with your country, Japan, and for the first time we only have 2 people in the chat. So I'm gonna assume the
Yeah.
interest in this is going down a little bit. But that is fine. I like me a little bit of peace and quiet. I see your economy grow a little bit. No, not that much though. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
significant
still
amount.
recovering from war in Manchuria a little bit.
Yeah, I can imagine. You still overextended. Yeah, 64%. That's probably impacting it quite a bit.
Yeah. I think it was at 150% at one point. So,
Oh, damn, that's big. You might have maybe should have considered releasing a vessel here. Although I don't know if there are any
yeah.
viable ones. Maybe
I had
Dongani.
the admin to spare, though, because my ruler's a 6 admin.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and it's not like you're gonna use admin on anything else, so fair enough. As long as you don't get punished for getting so overextended, which it doesn't look like you are. So a little bit of advice to begin with, saying is Malaya is just still your #1 existential threat. Is I would probably fortify the islands a little bit to make it harder for him to land. So
Yeah.
a fort here, because if he lands on this island and just blocks off the straits, he can use this as a staging point and land his entire army. So just
Not true.
putting on a fort here prevents him from doing that because he can only use one province and he can't go into port, which makes landing significantly quicker. So a fort on any of these really would work. Probably on Neva because it's hills and it's a strait.
Yeah.
Forts on all the straits is normally what you want to go for.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
and one on this island to just block off the rest of it. So probably one here, or one here, and one in Satsuma. Something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, you definitely want to fortify these little islands because they are, when they have the strait, they're an excellent staging point for an invasion as well as here. That's going to be
Oh, yeah.
your saving grace in case he comes knocking. But I think he's a little distracted at the moment, and you might even want to try and diplo him.
Yeah, I was considering it.
But
If we could have an NAP of sorts, that might be
yeah,
quite
besides
nice.
the fort setup, it looks like you fixed up your country a little bit. You dropped exploration, I think, which yeah,
I
exploration.
dropped exploration. I also dropped offensive after everyone told me it was terrible.
Yeah,
So I took
I mean
Pluto
it is
instead.
terrible, but I don't know if I would have wasted the points on it. But yeah, fair enough. I probably would have kept it myself, but the thing with dropping exploration, for example, is that it gives you those diplo points, and then you can use those to dev. So they're not completely wasted, but
Yeah.
dropping defensive and then going into another mill group just sets you back, in my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Only sent me back like 300 points or so, so it's not the end of the world.
you still haven't popped your golden era, which
Yeah, I don't think I could until like right at the end. I
I
didn't
think you
even
should
notice
now
I
that you have
fulfilled 3 of
Korea
them.
and your
Yeah,
ruler
it's a good
is
shout.
relatively decent, so you should probably pop golden era to finish off these 2 idea groups, and any dip points you get to spare use to dev up Korea, because Korea has some decent trade goods, I think. Yeah, paper,
Yeah.
Chinaware, they're all very good. So
I will
yeah,
probably also go maritime. Like, I wonder why you haven't done it so far. Like, instead
uh,
of innovative.
well, the thing is, I don't advise him to really go maritime because it's not going to be able to compete with Malaya even with full maritime.
No, but
Like
all
no
he
way.
wants to do is just slow him down if he wants to turn and land on Japan. Like, he can always have a
Well,
fleet that can engage after it drops off soldiers, so he can't reinforce it all the time.
yeah.
Like,
I
also
figure
not
my best
So
bet
being
defending
blocked.
against malaria is just killing them when they land, frankly.
exactly, and you
Yeah,
Because
don't. I
my
don't think you
quality's so
wanna.
much higher than
I don't
theirs.
think you wanna waste an entire mill group on just blocking off like retreat. What you wanna do is build up more heavies, like 50 heavies, and then when the battle, like for example, if you catch them in anywhere, and the battle you're winning, they can still retreat to their ships. So what you want to
Yeah.
do is when you're about to win the battle, you want to engage a naval battle just for
And
long
then they can't
enough
retreat.
that they get stack wiped, and then you pull out of the naval
Alright.
battle. You don't want to win the naval battles. That's why I think going maritime is a mistake, because you don't want to aim for a win on the sea, because you're not, even with maritime, you're not going to be able to compete with Malaya because
no,
just how broken his navy is. But I think,
like,
yeah, go ahead.
he is just going to get smashed, like, right off the bat. Like, his Malaya's quality is just so much better. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna lose, like, if you have a ship a fleet of 50 heavies, you'll probably lose like 20.
Well, no, I don't think that's
Well,
true.
Well, that's what
If-
happened
if-
in the last war. Is I had a fleet of about 50 heavies, and now there's only 28 of them left.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you only need to hold the naval battle for a couple like months, if that. Like you just need to engage when the land battle is about to end. I don't think you would lose 20 heavies in that span of time, but I could be wrong. I'm not very good with naval battles.
You're talking if Japan is landing in Malaya?
No, if Malaya is landing in Japan.
Oh, I mean,
But yeah, your
don't
best.
you just shred him anyway?
He should. That's what I'm telling him. Your best bet is again build up fort lines so he can't just have a free staging point, and just focus on your army. I think going maritime is a mistake. I think you should just focus on your army, and the next idea group should probably be, I would say, a offensive, because quantity is nerfed in the mod. Offensive would
Okay.
probably be the best one.
I mean, you say that, but my force limit is really low at the moment.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
go
didn't notice, but
quantity.
you're gonna get force limit from plutocratic.
Still, it's like half of
I'd
everyone
still go
else's.
quantity if I were you. No matter
Yeah, I
what.
reckon I'm going to go quantity next.
Yeah, that I mean, like I said, it would probably work as well. But the thing is, when you dev up after your golden era, because you still have a lot of low dev stuff, your force limit is just gonna go up. And I think you still have force limit buildings to build.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
still got loads of them to build.
So I don't think you need to invest an idea group into it, but that's up to you.
Okay.
What's his
fair enough.
income like, Japan?
133.
About 130.
Manpower? Maxed out.
Manpower is also
129.
about 130.
He has a lot of deving to do, but he hasn't popped golden era yet, so he should do that. And when you do, make sure you switch to expulsion of heathens because you get the dev cost
Oh, yeah.
reduction. And just basic deving.
You made a
stuff.
mistake there, Japan. You should have swapped to theocracy when you have stored a lot of gov points.
Yeah,
then
because
you
you
should
lose
swap.
all these. But you know,
Oh, okay.
usually you want to store gov points because when you switch to theocracy, you lose all your reforms.
Also,
right.
another
My bad.
thing we probably should teach him is how to dev properly, like dev up your island, and do it in states so you can increase the enlistment.
So you
If
want
you
to
don't
dev
know about
when you have it all to 10 or even before 10 because of how the building slots work in the mod, because you have so many building slots in the mod, you don't really need to go to 10, although you should. When you have everything to 10, you want to start deving state by state to 20. And what I would do is find a state with a good trade good, like this one looks good. This is your capital
Yeah.
state as well, and I think it's got good terrain. Oh, the good terrain ones are already devved. Okay, probably, yeah, find some with good terrain and dev them up and do it state by state, and then you use the edict to increase enlistment and just keep it on while at war.
Right, okay.
And yeah, don't dev while you don't have prosperity, and you want to reduce this devastation everywhere that you have, which...
Yeah, I got hit by a tsunami right at the end of last
Yeah.
session. That was
Oh.
fun.
God, that
Yeah, so
sucks.
what I did in season 26 was I had forts, so it would cover all the coastlines.
Yeah, I
But you
already told him to build
get
a
so
fort, so
many.
that should fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you get so much devastation, and whenever it's really, really high, just dev up once or twice.
Yep.
Like, unless you just do it admin or dip
Yeah, but
points.
he has like 60 here, for example, and it's 20 dev province, so he's not going to be doing it there. So yeah, definitely
Nah.
forts to fix it. And you need forts against Malaya anyway. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so I think forts should be your #1 priority over building economy at the moment, because #1 it's going to fix your devastation. #2 it gives you a much higher chance of survival. So I would probably build forts first thing next session. You can, when you're building the ones for devastation, you can build level 2 forts, so you don't have to waste the money. But on the key points that I showed you, you want to go for higher forts. And also, you should pop your golden era soon and start deving, because the more you wait, the less that dev is worth. So
Yeah.
He has to fire it within the next year.
yeah,
Because 1610 are new age objectives, and he doesn't have the 200 force limit or 90 absolutism.
you're also
So-
not using your third merchant. Let me see where I would.
Yeah, I can't reach the Polynesian Triangle. It's a real pain.
I see.
I don't think you gain much from it anyway.
I'll be right back. Pass France if you can. I'll be right back probably before that shit, but you know.
All right. Well,
Also,
that's
and
about
the
it.
last
Still,
thing,
Or you have
last
more to
thing
add?
is, yeah, he's
using
going
the
with theocracy.
merchant- sorry, using the merchant in Beijing, like to steer trade, will give him more trade power and trade efficiency in Nippon as well.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Yeah, it does work upstream. It's very very use cases where it's actually useful to do. It's one of the very cases because can't use it to steer there.
So yeah, pop your trader in Beijing. Anything else?
Yeah, also because you're going theocracy, I probably wouldn't go white. I would probably just go tall. Like I had a pretty big problem with rebels in season 26.
Okay.
So because you have so low gov
Gov cap, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you got
Probably
more
gonna have to be
invests
quite.
if
And you're already Empire, aren't you? So
Focused. Yeah.
you do have more gov cap you can get from your estates though, so you should get on that, especially seeing as you're not really doing much with your crown land.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright,
that's
cheers.
it for Japan, I assume. Let's look at Tibet. Tibet killed Manchu last session, got a bunch of Girin and Yumen, and let go of China because China was just getting ganked to shit. Not amazing income, about the same position that Japan is in. But
10k loans.
is he?
Yes, still has 10k loans.
Oof.
is he building up or
It's just his awful income.
Yeah, his income is not very good. He doesn't really have a trade node to work with, so yeah, he's collecting in human, and I don't think that's very optimal. But
If you get human locked down, it's one of the decent trade nodes. It's just like Giran and all this stuff is not very consolidated. I don't think he has a lot of prosperity, does he?
no, when this okay, he does have.
Okay, it's mainland, but the thing is, like all the land he conquers from Manchu, it will take decades before it's going to return any profit, because it's all super high devastation, 100 autonomy, yeah. So
Oh yeah. Oh, he has a
yeah.
gold mine
And
here
it's-
too.
yeah.
Ooh, there's quite a few gold mines that popped up. Oh, just two. I meant that
There's
look
also
like
a lot
more
of
than one
coal in
province.
that area.
Yeah, so good trade goods here. Let's see what his did he accept Manchu yet? No. Shouldn't he accept
it's
Manchu?
vassals? No, it's vassals.
And the main Manchu culture land is owned by Japan. He
Hmm.
actually doesn't own that much Manchu.
I see.
Maybe Yaren, if he integrates Yaren, maybe then it's worth. But right
And
now
he
it's
went
not.
theocracy as well, so I'm guessing he plans to go tall. He
Yeah,
actually went theocracy properly, and he has all the reforms almost finished. He's just missing the
Yes.
last one.
Yeah,
He gets
probably
it
is like it's Tibet can switch via mission without losing government reform progress.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's why he's so deep into it. It's not Japan did it wrong. It's just Tibet gets
Tibet gets it for
very
free.
cheap way. Yeah.
Interesting. He went admin, which kind of curious, but I assume it's good for theocracy because of the gov cap bonus. So
Yeah.
don't really see it often, but yeah, it does make sense for theocracy, doesn't it?
But the thing is, I think in his position, he was constantly crying about having not a lot of admin points and going to another admin groups. Sure, it gives core creation cost, but then wouldn't be like trade or protectionism that gives him money be more beneficial for his position?
Probably, I would assume trade, but yeah, because he's got quite a few good trade goods here, doesn't he? So I'd assume trade would increase his income quite a bit, but I also see the sense in going admin like long term because again he's theocracy, so he's gonna have gov cap problems.
Yeah.
Let's see what the diplomacy. Did we get the new? We didn't get new
No.
victory cards, did we?
1650.
Yeah, these are the old ones, so I'm not gonna be looking at the victory cards. Diplomacy here in Asia is
Lonely.
yeah, lonely for Tibet. At least he's surrounded by a hot box, and yeah, I don't
Yep.
think now that China's dead, he's got any allies. He's also competing with Japan for Girin, so
Yeah, but I don't think it's a deadlock because, like, okay, he gave one province to Ava, so Ava gets his victory card, and it didn't seem like there was a lot of bad blood after the war. So it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like Asian diplomacy is like.
yeah, but he's
Set
locked in. He
for the
doesn't
next
have.
100
Oh, he can get Beijing though. Like if
Yeah.
he can manage to. Oh, he already has Beijing. He
Yeah.
has Yaren as a vessel. So he can do something with this country when this is integrated. Why is he transferring trade? Yeah, he is. I wonder why he's not collecting a Beijing, or why didn't he transfer
Because
the
he
trade not
pushes
here?
to human. Oh wait.
I think it would
Yeah.
be better to make this.
Beijing's his home node. He's just collecting in Newman as well.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
I'm blind. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I guess he's not dead if he manages to get most of Girin, because there's a lot of good trade goods that can spawn here, and I don't know. Yeah, he didn't take expansion or anything, but he can get the colonist. Yeah, he already has a colonist from the policies, so you just keep popping out good trade goods here, which is I think what he's doing. Yeah, it's all fur and gold. So yeah, I definitely think he's been doing the canceling colonies for good trade goods here, which is probably the best thing to do because he needs to kind of min-max what little territory he has left, because after that he's gonna get boxed in. But definitely after he gets get in, if he gets get in and consolidates, he should be considerable power here, as long as he manages to do some diplo.
Yep.
He's not doing anything with the estates either, which I'm curious about. I don't know why no one's transferring to nobility just yet, because
I think it was still like aftermath of the war, where he went down to 20 crownland or something. Like he sold. So I think it's just like he is trying to get there, but it's just like he doesn't have the spare monarch points to death push and do that stuff. So I think it's more
could be
due to that.
Ava doing the same thing on very low crown land, not really transferring to nobility. Although he has impressive manpower pool, 500k isn't bad. So he's doing okay-ish. I'm wondering if he's fully built up, seeing as if he has 5,000 in the bank. Apparently not. And these are all very good manufacturers to build, not even soldiers' households. So I'm wondering why he hasn't built any of this. Like, look at how many good trade goods he has.
Yeah. Maybe
Jeez.
busy eating China and not really.
This would increase his income substantially if he just built this up, and he has 5,000 in the bank, so I don't see why he wouldn't. Also running a level 4 advisor when he has like 90% advisor cost reduction.
What's his gov cap?
He's under his gov cap too, and he has 4 territories that have 73, 58 to 41 dev. Yeah, this country is not very optimized.
Yeah, you can squeeze out a lot more. Just full core everything and.
Yeah, definitely. When you're under your gov cap, you should go over your gov cap when you can. He's overextended quite a bit as well, which makes his income more impressive. He's got a trade deal with Malaya, I think, still.
No.
Which, unlike some people in the world, he's getting paid properly for, so good on him. Maybe a little less than he should, but at least like he's getting paid, unlike the Westphalians and Prussians from last podcast. Should definitely try and fix his estates though. Like you do want to pump up the nobles. By this time you should have them already set up, because number one, it's free manpower, and number two, it's a lot of free money that you just keep getting on cooldown. So
yeah, also like having like every state having some crown land makes it later on like next age is absolutism. If you want to go for absolutism, it makes it really difficult.
yeah,
Because you get estates gain more influence than loyalty from owning crown land. So
yeah, and countries like Ava and Tibet that are gonna get locked in somewhat should probably go for a little higher absolutism and try and min-max the countries, because they don't really have a lot more expansion routes to go to, unless they fight each other.
How do you reduce crown land of individual estates?
Well, you go to 100% crown land first, and then you revoke anything for nobility, because you're going to be at 100%, they're all going to be at 0. You revoke anything for nobility, you give them a privilege that gives them crown land, and then they're going to be at 5%, the rest are going to be at 0. And then every time you click sale of titles, only nobility is going to get crown or land, the rest are going to stay at 0.
yeah,
Okay.
you take the best edict to do it is the one that gives you monarch points of the category, because that's always 10% crown land share that the estate is. So you invoke the middle point one and then grant it, and then you have like 10% has nobility, everyone else has 0%, and if you go to sell crown land, it always looks like who has like what kind of share of land is given out, and it just scales up. So if one state owns 5%, and the other one 10, the other next one 85, then if you sell land, it scales like how much land they already own.
Right. Okay.
So
Thank
The
you.
thing is, you have to use seized land, which takes quite a while. You can also dev, which might be a good thing for Ava to do because he has the very good mana generation with his advisor cost reductions. So advice for Ava would probably be to dev up all this shit, and Savannah is really good in the mod because it has no dev cost penalties. So all these
Yep.
Savannah provinces, or he already devved some of them. Oh, also, like these provinces that have like 7 tax, 5 tax, whatever, you want to exploit on cooldown. You don't want to be over like 4 tax dev at this point, really, if that. But yeah, you, as Ava, I would definitely recommend start deving hard and seizing on cooldown, get to 100%, give something to nobility and do the nobility transfer because it buffs up your manpower by like up to 80%, and that's significant. And yeah, I would say that's about it for Ava. Quick note on diplomacy: ally to Punjab, has a trade deal with Malaya, so yeah, 2 allies and rival with Tibet and China.
No.
Let's look in Malaya.
Uh,
What's up?
Yeah, I think I want Malaya to get involved in the GB war. I told him it's gonna be eternal war if you fight GB, and yeah, that happened. What last session was for him.
Oh, I
Just
don't
the
think
war
it's eternal war, and he's been building up during the war. As you can see, he's making a lot of money. He's not over force limit, navally or militarily.
Yeah,
So-
but like he could have instead like murdered Japan for good. Could have taken Mexico from the Spanish taxes and done stuff like that. Instead, he should have just let Portugal fight GB alone and then do his own shit elsewhere.
Yeah,
And
fair
then
enough,
come
but I
in.
wouldn't also call it the eternal war, because how long has it been? 89, well, like 19 years, and GB is gonna go bankrupt really quickly. So the war is pretty much over. I think 20, 22 years, and he gets a part of our deal is that he gets Mexico, he gets California, Cascadia. He also gets Great Britain if Great Britain doesn't surrender. So I think he gets a fair amount, and he doesn't have anyone contesting him for it. So I would say it's worth 20 years, but he also could have gone for Japan. It's just the thing is, what I told him in the mod, colonies are very strong, and as Malaya, he's never gonna have the army force limit on his own because he's already gone for almost for a heavily naval country, and he doesn't have that many. Oh, he has morale of armies, I guess. But yeah, anyway, the key way for him to buff his country militarily is to get strong colonies. Because if you look at my colonies, for example, they already have a combined force limit of 250. When he gets Texas, when he gets California and Alaska, he's gonna have a lot of force limit that they're gonna be bringing in, and that's gonna make him a big player in the military aspect of the game, not just in an island boat nation. And if he went for Japan, he would have gotten like what 600 dev, 700 dev, but he still wouldn't be really competitive on land. Like I don't think that would have changed much for him. So that was my argument to convince him, and I didn't do that as just like pushing him into doing something I want. I genuinely believe that that was like the best move for him is getting colonies.
Yeah. Yeah, the different strategies. Could also go like fuck because colonies are still like land holdings he has to defend, and go just full like I'm an island boy. So, but yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
a
but
decision you have to make.
that's the thing. He didn't want to just be a full island boy. He wanted to go for the, at least top 3 or the game win, and just playing a boat nation doesn't really get you there, you know?
No.
Alright, he's doing amazingly well
Highest
economically,
income
although
as well.
he's there's other people catching up to him that I saw. Some other nations are very close to him now. His income is a little bit inflated because he's getting 51 from Ava for the trade deal, so I think he's not number 1 economically anymore. I think Punjab's first.
Hindustan is second in income, and I stagnated a lot on the income
Okay,
front.
so Malaya is still first,
Yeah.
but not by a huge margin, by only 70 income compared to Hindustan. Although I'm gonna assume he still hasn't really. Oh, he has. He has built up finally. He still has a little bit of building to do, especially in the manpower field, but yeah, he's finally built up, which is good. He has a couple of these yellow provinces. I wonder. Oh, yeah.
Taxation, temples.
Advice for Malaya. In the provinces that you don't have room for manufacturers, you want to find something to delete in. So, for example, in the gold province, definitely delete any of these. I don't know what's most important to you, but I don't think you have trouble with sailors, so I'd probably delete the sailor one or the naval force limit.
Definitely, I would keep the shipyard because naval force limit needs either more trade ships or more heavies. So that's actually good.
So yeah, probably either mosque or docks, because your tax income isn't that significant. And
I would destroy both.
you
You
wanna
can't build a manufacturer on gold, though, can you?
no, but you wanna build soldiers' households.
Oh, you can build soldiers' households.
Yeah.
So
Soldier household, force limit building, manpower building.
yeah,
I guess maybe like if you want to go land, then
Yeah.
go the force limit building.
he definitely has a lot of optimization to do, and I advised him doing that next session after the war is done. Build force limit and manpower everywhere, like Nibor said. Your priority buildings are workshops when you're lacking money, which you don't, and then manpower, force limit, and manpower manufacturing.
I
So
think for him,
wherever you don't have
manpower.
room for it, you want to delete something. I would start with the mosques personally. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
One like for him, I think highest priority should be manpower over force limit, because he can easily pay for going over force limit. But
Yeah.
if you look at his manpower pool, he's at his cap, and 250k manpower pool is not very nothing to
good.
boast about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely has a lot of building to do. And I'm gonna go and say that a lot of these are. Oh, they're not. He's dev'd oddly. 9 tax dev, 10 tax dev. Yeah. Same advice I gave Ava. You wanna exploit tax dev on cooldown and move that dev into other fields. So get it below 20 by exploiting, and then develop manpower, for example. Or yeah, develop manpower strictly because you don't need money. So you should avoid even production dev at this point because you don't need money at this point. Has he built? Oh, he doesn't have the tech for the unis yet. That's 17. Yeah, I took it ahead of time. And yeah, when you can build unis, build them everywhere, pretty much everywhere that's below 20 dev first off, and then start deving up. And yeah, that's about it for Malaya, I would say. Alliances, allied with Portugal, allied with Ava by trade deal, and rival with Tibet, Japan, and China. Oh, I didn't check his colony, which has 10 force limits. Fucking Australia.
Is it relevant?
I just want to take a quick look. Okay, 57 force limit, not that horrible. 51 naval force limit. I think he went maritime. Yeah, good. Yeah, when you have a Australia colony or a Cuba colony, you wanna make them go full maritime. So maritime quality, that sort of deal, because they're never gonna have a competitive army to do anything with. And that's it for Malaya. Let's look at Punjab. And I unpaused the game. God damn it. Sometimes that thing just doesn't work. Like, what is it, the command console? When I start typing into it, it just, yeah. Loading's gonna take forever. God damn it. Might actually crash my game. Oh, there it is. Alright. So good Punjab, did you manage to fix your prosperity?
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just a little concerned because the session didn't take that long, but yeah.
Yeah. Advisor's getting awfully expensive considering I've innovative and all this stuff. But yeah, governing capacity is just a number.
Definitely. And looks like you have another very juicy state that you have to
look at yeah, I can develop a lot of areas.
How is this 70 dev.
I took it from Uzbek. I looked at it like it was like, oh, there are 4 provinces from Uzbek. I'm gonna take it. It's
33.
30.
Oh my god, 16 Oh god.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is done by Manchu player or by the AI.
No, that was Uzbek AI because those were like his capital provinces.
Holy shit, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is something
Yeah.
you don't even want to conquer.
Yeah, I made it trade companies.
Yeah.
Because look at the trade codes up there. Like the food stuff I made normal. The other stuff is just going to be trade company because I'm exploding already from governing capacity. And I got another merchant already from it, so I can put it actually in Siberia and pull into Samarkand.
Yeah, you might want to invest into building courthouses soon. Oh, no, you haven't.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're so far over governing capacity. It's probably your most valuable building at the moment.
Yeah, I can fix it a bit. Like the next idea group gives a policy that gives 20% government capacity, and yeah, next tech gives another 250 government capacity. But,
Yeah, that's gonna help quite a bit. But
worst case, I have money, so it's not like I'm poor and will die from it. But yeah, it's gonna be.
it does suck wasting this much on advisors. Like,
Yeah, agreed.
and this
I
is
mean,
half cost.
it's a very well polished nation overall. Like if you look at development, you barely find a province with more than 2 taxation dev. I have already 90 professionalism because I literally couldn't mill dev anywhere and was hitting the mill point gap, so I just hired less generals.
Nice.
And I am running currently 103 Rajput regiments.
Oh, do you still have the Rajput that stack? You have multiple now.
Yeah, I was running them. Yeah, I'm now at 103 Rajput regiments, so
Nice.
that's nice.
And you still have the Morale of Armies mission for...
And the other one, check it as well, because it's balanced.
Oof, so balanced.
Yes.
Well, someone's gonna have a fun time in a war with you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to fight.
So for the previous nations we were looking at with like amazing tech dev and stuff, Malaya and I think Ava had poor dev. This is pretty much how you want to dev your nation. I recommend loading up the save and taking a look, because this is how you do it optimally. Even as a boat nation, you don't really want to do the same thing, because you never want text dev. It just doesn't scale.
Yeah.
Your income is not as amazing as Malaya's, obviously, but
yeah, maybe I can fix the trade a bit more, like moving my trade capital from Lahore to Samarkand. But I was early on leaking a lot of Samarkand, which was also the reason why I got the Great Horde subject. To insulate the Samarkand trade node.
Yeah, it looks like a good node right now.
PSC was not so amazed by that expansion, but well,
like, that sucks.
yeah, sad times for him.
Yeah, looks like a very solid nation. And yeah, this is the estate thing that I have been talking about as well. Except you don't really get the.
I don't get a manpower limit. I just get the Rajputs, which have like extra morale, discipline.
Yeah, but since you dev so well, you have really good manpower to begin with. So.
Yeah, I think second or third in the world right now, without quantity ideas and without the nobility stuff. So, yeah, it's a very well polished nation, if I say so myself.
I do agree. Good job. Very impressive fort line as well. I don't know why you're maintaining all of them. Are you paranoid of Ava?
To maintain army tradition, because I don't fight any wars right now.
Oh,
and if you have maintaining forts, I still get 0.65. You can push it to 1.
I guess you don't really have anything else to use money on, as I can see.
I mean, next tech is.
Have
I built all the fort buildings? The new manpower building? Yeah. Okay. It was
you have units to build next tech, and I don't think the new manpower building is coming soon. Let me check.
The manpower building.
Oh, it already came. Yeah, but you built it in most of the good provinces already.
Yeah, so yeah.
So
I don't know. I think it's just like I have to find someone I can war a bit with for fun, to be honest. Because after the Timurids war, it's just been push the death button and scale.
Yikes.
Well,
that
great example of what like a long time of peace can do for your nation.
Well, that's concerning to hear for Rum and Commonwealth, I'm gonna guess, but
No.
let's take a look at Hindustan. Oh, just for reference, I wanted to see your morale. 7 almost. That's nice. Damn.
And 120 discipline.
Yikes. And that's
But
without
only
the mission.
because right now, like Sikh is an interesting religion with these gurus. Right now, the Sikh religion gives me 10 morale and 5 discipline, because reasons.
Hindustan a little lower on morale than you, like by 1.5.
Yeah,
Ish.
that's the thing with Hindustan. Like, I talked with a Hindustan player. Hindustan gets ICA from ideas, from from government reforms. It gets like all the quality, but it doesn't get any morale source because he also went Hindu. So he has to get morale somewhere. So maybe we can talk ideas like next idea for him should be either plutocratic or defensive to get some source of morale because he has enough ICA and discipline.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I would assume so. I wonder how Hindu works with States General. Do you get a new deity every election, or
I guess.
that would be pretty strong, to be honest.
Yeah.
Although Chalu Surya wouldn't happen, would it?
Yeah, but
But still, switching deities that often would probably be very beneficial.
he's soon in a position to sell out to his Marathas, like his crown land. Like he's getting there where you want to be. Like I guess it's another session till you can finally sell to the Marathas.
If he manages to dev, definitely.
Yeah, that's also
I
my
mean,
plan.
he definitely has some money to get monarch points now, to get high level advisors, to get the monarch points to dev push.
Yeah, already running pretty high level.
Yeah.
I'd probably run 5s, but yeah, that's probably. You can afford it easily.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, you can afford
I
that.
think it was mostly built at the end of last session, weren't you?
Yeah, build up all what I could and then started doing better advisors.
Yeah, you look really well built up, although you again have a lot of these yellow provinces, so you wanna start min-maxing and going through them, although never mind, it looks like they're already. I don't think you have that many temples.
Destroy the temples.
Let's see.
Destroy the temples. Like,
Yeah, destroy temples everywhere. Destroy. I think there's some. I saw another. Yeah, you have marketplaces, which I don't think you need either. So yeah, you're coming to that point where you want to get rid of those and build manufactories everywhere. And manufactories, soldiers' households, workshops, all that shit, because you're running out of building slots.
Yeah, that's also my plan. But I need to do some deving and consolidate.
also, like
Yeah, well,
integrating.
you can do both with this income, and yeah, you can earn even more just reducing army maintenance, but it's not a significant amount. You're not at your force limit. That's why it looks quite a bit lower than I thought it would be, your army maintenance. But yeah, unless you're planning to go to war, there's very little point drilling them when you're just drilling like half of your force limit. You don't really gain a lot of professionalism from that. So I would probably reduce the maintenance, only drill like a cannon stack or something, just so you can get the full, army drill on them. And yeah, just build up with the spare cash.
A thing you could optimize, like integrate Balochistan, because Balochistan is currently having 8 food provinces, and India really doesn't have any food. So, like, it's fish, it's livestock, and it's a grain province. So it's a lot of manpower that's sitting dormant there.
Yeah.
So integrate him will give him like another 80k manpower. So that would be a nice boost.
How much would the integration cost? 807 points, yeah. You don't really want to wait too much longer though, because it's getting into late game. Definitely time to start integrating your vassal.
I mean, if he gets absolutism, it makes it cheaper to integrate, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be aiming for going high absolutism. That seems like it rarely happens in
France is going to.
Oh. I did.
I would.
That's important.
I did court in country once, and I got into doing it, and realized it's a bad idea. But yeah,
court in country is a bad idea. Yes, yes. I mean, if you are diplomatically super safe, it can be an okay idea. But in general, I wouldn't recommend court in country in MP.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it as France.
Chad. Alright, yeah, I think that's about it for Hindustan. I think, yeah, you also have a lot of admin dev that you should be burning down, because, you know.
Most of them I did just to get at about 20 or 10.
They just go to the ledger. There's the
Yeah,
burn development. Just click all the tech stuff and don't look what it's
Wait,
probably just.
what?
No, if you go in the macro builder, sorry, not the ledger, macro builder, and then the lowest tab, the lowest one, and then just the first line, just click all the text. That's taxation. Just click all of them.
Well, yeah,
Don't have
but...
to check for promises. Just
Oh,
burn it
yeah,
all.
because you can see how much you have, too. So you
Yep.
don't...
Maybe if it's at a verge of 20 or 10,
yeah,
maybe skip that.
if it's gonna give you like building less, but yeah, you should definitely be doing that on cooldown. Yeah, that's it for Hindustan. Still allied to Punjab. Not much happening in Asia after the first couple sessions, is there?
No.
Alright, let's take a look at Rum. Rum had a sub that lost the war with Commonwealth and rage quit, so that was
He
curious.
didn't move the capital.
I mean, he's at -3 the stability. So like the player that left didn't even bother to step up Rum before leaving it to go bankrupt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not impressed with the sub, to be honest, like the way he did it.
Yeah, no, I'm not impressed either. And I think Rum might be also eligible to some minor save fixes because it was AI for like 20 minutes. So some things might get save fixed.
All stat and legitimacy should already be a nice thing for him.
Yeah.
Fix his nature.
Running low level advisors as well.
I mean, that's AI, you can't touch
yeah.
on that.
Yeah, actually, I don't think there's much point looking at Rum when all of this was probably done by the AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Just maybe thinking about, like, diplomatically.
Well, diplomatically, he seems completely isolated right now. He's rival to Commonwealth, rival to Punjab, rival to Prussia, but Prussia's pretty much Commonwealth's little baby. But yeah, he seems surrounded by enemies. His only neutral side is Ethiopia, who's allied to Songhai, but I think I saw some hostility brewing between them.
He's not neutral. He wants to kill him.
So,
yeah, Ethiopia wants to kill Rum,
so Rum, like, he's relatively strong still, 440 force limit, which not relatively, it's very strong. Out of manpower though. What's his morale at? What the?
bankruptcy.
Yeah, I didn't realize he's still in
Oh,
bankruptcy.
it's just another 2, so it's 5.8.
So not great morale, but competitive at least. His fourth line with Ethiopia is non-existent. Fourth line with Punjab is non-existent. Yeah, interesting stuff. I wonder if AI maybe changed some forts or what happened, but definitely looks like a very fragile nation in a bad situation unless he can get some ally or some land deals or something. But I guess the only saving grace is that Punjab said he's looking for a fun war, and I don't think this would be very fun. I think this would just be...
just eating that horse.
Yeah. So, at least that front might be safe, but you also have Hindustan bordering you, so, you know. Diplomatically for Rum, I would probably talk to... I don't know, Commonwealth doesn't really have any enemies. You could talk to Hindustan versus Ethiopia, potentially Italy versus Songhai, France versus Songhai, stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't think the player is that active, and I just hope he does some diplomatic to survive. But yeah, let's look at Ethiopia. 689k manpower, 6 morale, so not much stronger than Rum morale-wise, very close. Morale has a Rum has, not significant, he has 40 more force limit, but he doesn't have any manpower, which is a problem. Ethiopia is, I think, capped on legalism, which he shouldn't do. He hasn't done the nobility swap yet either, although it looks like he's working his way there, or he has, but then Lemma got some land. I'm not really sure what happened here. But you definitely want to seize or dev away Lemma land and then push back to nobility. Seizing might be a little bit of a problem because Ulema's gonna lose a lot less than nobility when you seize, so you might just have to dev a lot. Let's see what happens. They are at 16 right now. If I dev 5 times, oof. Yeah, you might just have to zero them both down again. That sucks. I wonder what happened there. Besides that, economically doing well, 300 income. I would be running higher advisors when you have cash to spare, unless you're planning on building up in the near future.
He has a lot of the upgraded manpower buildings to build, so I think maybe all this money going there.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good idea as well. Building trade stations.
Those are manufactories, like the
Oh, right,
ivory ones.
right. Yeah, no, I'm
Those are not markets.
yeah. The
I think
ivory slaves and
Yeah.
cotton, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably good to build then. Just being stupid.
Yeah.
He swapped to Zanzibar, which is good idea. He has the majority of it now, and he's managing to fix his trade, getting a decent amount of trade in. Only 10 coming out of Ethiopia though, which is curious. I was assuming his core would be a little more developed than that, but it's kind of trash
I think
land though, isn't it?
pushing trade to like making Zanzibar's home node is still risky, because just anyone can just park a big trade fleet there, Portugal, and just drain it. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
you
but
don't
Portugal also
necessarily-
has all of this that can get fucked if it does that, so... Which is half my dev at this point, so... that's the problem.
Sucks to be you.
Well, no, not really. I'll get to that
Yeah.
in a later point, but I'm actually doing
Yeah.
quite well and I'm happy with it. But yeah, besides that, for Ethiopia, I think he still has a lot of deving to do. I see a lot of provinces that are very suboptimal.
Yeah.
I can just go to here.
I mean, if you look at the manpower map mode, like
Yeah, lot of
Ethiopia and
provinces.
Kawaland looks really nice.
Sorry?
If you look at the manpower map mode, like his core land looks really nice.
Yeah, because
All
it's all food provinces though. That's why.
Yeah.
Look how much grain
okay.
there is.
Fuck.
It's all food. Ethiopia is
that's-
really strong on manpower that way, but that's also why a lot of it. That's also why there's such low amount of money going out of Ethiopia, because it's trash trade goods. He's using propagate religion here though, which did he swap to Sunni?
Yeah, he did that a while back. Yeah.
Huh, I
Like
didn't
I think
notice.
session 1. So
I didn't notice. So yeah, for Ethiopia, he's he's done with his golden era. I would definitely, like, a lot of these countries are waiting way too long to even start deving, and you're just banking all these points. Like, I don't really understand why. You should, like, you're up on ideas. You can wait a little bit longer on tech, especially dip
I mean,
tech.
next
Dip tech you
admin
can.
tab,
Yeah.
next admin tab gives him deving efficiency. So maybe that's why he didn't spend the
Okay,
admin.
but no, go
dip and the
take
points.
it now. It's 451. It's really cheap. Take it now.
Yeah, that's
And start deving the low dev ones. The ones that are above 10 dev, you start building universities in, and then you dev those in a second wave. You can go
Yep.
behind, like, there's no need, unless you're boat nation, to be up on dip tech. Like, you should regularly be like 2 or 3 dip techs behind until you're fully deved. So, and even like you might even want to fall behind on mill tech a little bit, because this tech doesn't really matter much. It's just a horse tech, and unless you're planning a war, you know, you don't have to take it right away. I would still not dev away your entire pool. I would keep enough. Like, you only need 391, so I would keep enough to tech up just in case. But dev away the rest. You don't need to store 600 mil points for no reason, you know.
no.
So, yeah, all of these nations just need to dev. Like, look at how many good trade goods are here in Zambezi. Like, that's insane. It's all ivory, and then there's slaves here, which are good price now too. He dev'd his gold mines at least, so that's something. But yeah, you shouldn't be relying so much on gold income this late. All right, Songhai next, unless someone has anything to add for Ethiopia.
No.
I mean, he needs to expand. Just Like I guess he will go into them.
Yeah, I
There's
think
only
that's the plan, seeing as he's allied to Songhai.
no.
Like he was the strongest nation in the last podcast, and he fell behind a lot already. I don't think he's in the top 5 anymore. But that just goes to show you can't really just expand and leave it there and bank your 900 dip points and tech up when you need to. Uh, Start deving this shit. Like, you need the money. You're not doing that well economically. Like, you're doing okayish, but you can be doing a lot better because Africa has amazing trade goods. And now you have a trade node of your own. Alright, let's look at Songhai. About the same income, a little less morale, 100 less force limit than Ethiopia. He's gonna go up a lot on manpower soon though. Like he's 1 seas away from fixing it, and yeah, that's gonna be big. Although it might be a problem with the Dimi, but you can just dev this 3% away easily. It looks like he... Yeah, let's
I
see
mean, if
his...
it's at 1% and you start selling out nobility and just keep selling land via the edict and not via selling to everyone, then you can just ignore it for a while, and then it's gonna fix itself.
has a lot of undev provinces still.
Yeah.
And he's
By the
also
way,
up on dip tech, which again you don't want to be. You should do the same thing I recommended to Ethiopia. Get to the next admin tech, take it like as soon as you can. It's not going to be ahead of time by the time you get it, but and start deving. Just yeah, you have prosperity everywhere. You have really good trade goods, and you have like half your country, not half, like what's this? 1/3 of your country is below 10. So
yeah.
you
And it's just at 9 developments, 1 click, and then you have another building slot to
yeah.
get more force, get more manpower, whatever.
So fix that up because yeah, you're
Um,
missing a lot. There's a lot of yellow manpower buildings, a lot of yellow force limit buildings, manufactories even. Like you really do want to fix it up now rather than
um,
later, so you scale higher.
One long-term advice: if you check his morale modifiers, there he has like minus 10% increased serfdom if you hover over it.
Mhm.
It's an event like if you have get 10% nobility loyalty, but get minus 10 morale for 20 years. Don't take this event in a multiplayer. Just go with a piece of nobility, even to push
How long
them.
does that last for?
I don't know. It's I think 20 or 25 years.
Jesus.
It's really stupid to take it in a multiplayer because it can just kill you.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I don't think he's at any danger unless France decides to do something. But
it's still a multiplayer. You don't know.
yeah,
Like
I
maybe
don't
you
see
have
the
to defend
modifier
somebody.
here though.
It's at the top round. It's the stability one. It's the second class
Oh
increased
yeah,
serfdom.
until
It's
oh,
always
it's only
almost
2
run
years.
out. Yeah, but
But
it's. I think if you get the event, it's 20 or 25 years.
yeah,
So
definitely not worth taking, I would say.
yeah, just piss off the nobility. It doesn't matter. Just never take this in multiplayer.
Um, so yeah, advice for Songhai: you just because you're gonna have either pop the Sea's land and kill the rebels, although that might hurt your prosperity because they just spawn everywhere and they immediately yeah.
Just spread out some armies, like 10k stacks everywhere, and just
Well,
instantly
it's
wreck
either
them.
that or you just dev a little bit because they're only at oh they
Yeah,
can't
but
see
if
what
they
they're
are
left
already
now.
this low, you don't take away a lot of crown land if you death
Mm.
push.
Oh right,
So
yeah, fair point.
at the very end, you have to either cease or start selling like twice with the like doing the edict stuff, and then it's okay. You
So
still
yeah,
have 1% of something else.
it's a good point. You have a lot of armies. Just put them into like 10k stacks, park them everywhere, seize land, kill rebels, and then you can do the nobility switch, and you're gonna start getting a lot of money and manpower out of it. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty big for some guy. He's gonna scale really high with that.
We talked about where Ethiopia expands.
Yep.
Okay, Saumai takes the rest of Morocco. Does he try to jump to Iberia, which is really difficult to do if you don't have like kick-ass navy? Does he?
I don't think he's gonna be able to jump to Iberia because Gibraltar is occupied by Portugal right now, and GB is probably gonna lose it. So he's not gonna be able
Yeah.
to cross. And even without that, France also owns this state. So I don't
I mean,
see
you
it
could
pushing through
snipe
France.
a beachhead from like attacking into AI Spain, getting
Yeah.
like Cadiz and whoever, but you can't park a big enough army there to expand there. So getting into Iberia seems really sketch in his position. Maybe if he gets Malaya support to get him
I
big
don't
crossing.
think Songhai
But
needs to expand like right now. I think he needs to fix his country first. Like this Songhai
yeah,
can scale a lot if he just he hasn't again no golden era popped yet.
yeah.
We already discussed this last time. I think. What can unify culture? What's his culture group? Songhai. What's he missing?
The stuff from GB.
Oh yeah, he's missing one province, and GB is his ally. So if you can buy this province from GB and pop your golden era, you should like. I think Songhai profits the most by just sitting and deving, to be honest, because he has so much scaling to do, and potentially, like again, Ethiopia is going into Rum, so he can't really do that. He already finished off the rest of Africa. He could go for
Yeah,
South Africa, although this is like 50 devs, so it's not like gonna be game changing.
yeah, that's why I think like does Songhai want Ram to die to Ethiopia?
Maybe not. Maybe the best play for Songhai would be to go against Ethiopia right now, but I don't know.
Just
They seem pretty tightly allied, so I don't see that
yeah,
happening.
yeah. Just thinking about the long term here. What's the
Yeah,
possibilities?
long term, my advice for Songhai would be to try and maintain status quo and let Rum recover, and then look out for yourself in your best interest, because you can try and go into Iberia, but I don't see that happening. Your enemy has the strongest navy in the world. British navy is gone, and Malaya is allied to Portugal. And even without Malaya, Portugal has I think already 60 heavies, and he's getting Cuba next. So I don't think you're ever gonna be able to cross or make a landing in Iberia. And even if you were, you have to fight France as well as Portugal. So I don't think going into Iberia is a viable long-term plan, and maybe try and plan something else. But in the meanwhile, it's definitely best for him to just fix up his country a little bit, because he can scale a lot if he just devs. And again, in the mod, I've been saying this a lot because people are used to vanilla and people think this is trash land. It's not.
No, this is primarily the state.
This is fucking amazing land. Like no dev cost, penalty. Just when you pop the golden ear, when you get the next deck, you're gonna be deving this for sub 20, which in the mod again is pretty good. And so
Tropical.
get your burgers up, pop the golden era, get prosperity, and next deck and start deving really hard, and try and get maxed out advisors when you can as well. Someone said tropical. That
Yeah. It's
5%.
5%.
Yeah, I
It's a
would.
minor debuff, but it's
It's bearable.
Doesn't he also get that seasonal debuff, monsoon or whatever? No, that's in India. But don't the Africans get that too? I'm pretty sure I got that as playing as Kilba.
Maybe the tropical stuff can get it like every couple
No.
of
Oh, yeah, normal monsoon or not. Yeah, they get monsoons too in Africa too. And you just randomly get the province that gets a 20 dev discount. So I would say that discount that cancels it out. But you can't really rely on it because it's random. Anyway, that's it for Songhai.
Nice.
Let's look at Portugal. My country. Manpower at 82k. Not the best. I've started doing the nobility switch, although I don't think that's gonna help me very much.
Why though? Just go for 100 professional. Your army is gonna be awful anyways. You just have to fight with, except that you have to fight with mercs.
Yeah, I did that, but like, how does it help me going for 100 crownland?
Getting 100 absolutism.
Huh. That might be a good point. I might just do that. I was mainly doing this for money at the moment because every sale of titles gets me a significant amount of money at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lost Madagascar, which was quite well devved. I have 30 dev province here, another 24. Yeah, so that hurt a little bit, but yeah, it made sure I don't lose this and primarily this, which is the war goal. So I got decked on by Ethiopia twice, by Songhai twice, and I just gave them whatever they wanted because I didn't want to lose the war goal versus GB, because that would turn the war quite a lot. Currently in the war, West Indies got carpet sieged by rebels twice completely, and I think this is one of those things that the mod breaks with colonial nations, because there's quite a few things broken with colonial nations. For example, I can't colonize here. Even though my colony is right next to it, I can't colonize because it's not a colonial nation tag, it's a Brazil tag. So that's thing number one that's broken. Thing number two that's broken is rebels fully carpet sieged West Indies. Cuba break off, but Cuba only got like 2 provinces. Then the next time they fully
That's
carpet
also
sieged again, and they got like 2 more provinces. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that's also in vanilla. That like breaking to colonial rebels is somehow strange how it
Oh.
works.
Okay, yeah,
So-
I just assumed that's the mod thing, but either way, we already got Haiti. We occupied everything in the New World. We completely won the war here. We did a sea lion on GB, which I have to credit to my La Plata player. He, on his own incentive, without any support from our navy, from our army, from anything, landed on this island, Inner Hebrides, Hebrides, sorry.
Yep.
And made a staging point for the invasion. And we pushed all the way down to Northumberland, forced GB to go into max loans, which he still is. And he's on his way to bankruptcy. He props to Bora, the GB player, because he managed to fight off a sea lion. And usually, when a sea lion happens, GB players just spurg out and shit themselves. But Bora did well, and he managed to fight us off. But again, he's still, it killed him because he's on max loans, and he's losing quite a bit of money, which we'll get to in a minute. Navally, we just dominate the war because Malaya has 126 ships with his colony, 126 heavies. Our army is also much stronger at this point. The war was a little bit of a stalemate in Mexico until we pushed him to GB, and then he transferred everything over there. We made the push, and now it's pretty much game over because his colonies are bankrupt. He's bankrupt. We're just gonna sit on this and wait till it breaks the rebels and just chip away at it one by one. So yeah, we won the war. I would say. I don't really see saving grace here. He already tried to call in some guy in Ethiopia twice, and they didn't really help him much. He antagonized France by joining a war versus him with Westphalia, so I don't see France helping him either. So yeah, that's about it for Portugal. There's not much else to look at because I have like 2 states to my entire country. My colonies are pretty well built up. Let me just.
Nice pirates in English Channel from you.
Oh yeah, well we had to make sure he doesn't recover from his loans. So yeah, we took quite a big chunk out of the English channel. We also tried to lower the English channel value to pop global trade somewhere else, but we didn't manage because when we put pirates in Northern Sea and Lubeck, his trade value in English channel grew by 30 somehow. So that was curious. But yeah, just gonna look at the colonies real quick.
Yeah, you have lazy merchants, by the way.
Lazy merchants? How come?
2 lazy merchants for Port.
Oh. Oh, would you look at that? I didn't even notice. I wonder where I got those from. Interesting. I did pull. Oh, I thought I pulled out the Coromandel because I told Hindustan I would, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I have to fix my merchant setup. I was just over focusing on the war. So, thank you for pointing that out.
Overall, 250k from colonies. Yeah.
Yeah, overall, 100 force limit from Brazil is just recovering from, being in war for 22 years, so he's out of manpower. Not fully built up yet either. Has a lot of the production buildings that need to be built, like decent ones, I would say. Yeah. A lot of manpower buildings, more importantly, because these manpowers, though, yeah, just need a lot of building to be done here, and that's pretty much the plan for next session, just to scale up the colonies now that I have Caribbean and I can get value out of them, because my main problem was that I couldn't, because I didn't have Ivory and I didn't have Caribbean, so I was just losing money. So that's why I was forced into this war. La Plata has another 86, so that's 186 force limit, and Colombia has 92, so 186, 92, 278 force limit so far, and that's not built up. So that was my, from earlier, that was my way of convincing Malaya into going into Mexico, because like my colonies aren't even built up because I was relatively poor. Malaya has triple my income. Like when he gets Texas and builds it up, he's gonna have like 500 force limit just from there. Like Texas is gonna have more force limit than Malaya. So I would say that's worth going to war for. So yeah, that's about it for Portugal. I'm also gonna have them all switch their idea groups next session, which should buff them considerably. But yeah, let's look at France next. France still weaker than Westphalia.
I mean, I wouldn't call
Shut
that
the
last
fuck
session.
I'm just baiting him.
I mean, it's still like, why so little crown land? It hurts him. Like he still has some autonomy issues. He doesn't really have a fort line yet, especially in the north.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can go simple terrain mode and at least try to place forts behind rivers.
It looks like
Like
he built a fort line in Alsace-Lorraine and left Belgium open. I wonder if that ever went wrong for
Historical.
anyone in history.
That's historical, my friend.
Yeah.
That never failed.
Yeah. It's foolproof. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah.
There's no defense in depth.
You go simple terrain map mode and look out for rivers and like try to fight provinces that are only accessible by crossing a river.
Yeah.
So that way, like if someone reinforces a battle on one of those provinces, they at least get the river crossing penalty.
Yeah, Troyes, for example, is a good one.
Cox is a very good one because there's rivers on all sides. It's in the Normandy area.
Yeah.
CAUX.
Yeah, Troyes and Cox would be good fort positions.
Yeah.
Although I think oh, he's recovered economically, so I don't really. I guess he wasn't too worried about forts. Probably increase your crown land a little bit. I don't know why you gave 27% to clergy. Like the whole estate setup looks a bit scuffed. Although 600,000 manpower isn't bad. 6.13 morale at full maintenance without the advisor though, so the morale is decent.
He doesn't have the right shirt spec for military right now. It's economic focused, so that's fine, I guess. I mean, it's low for France that gets 20% from this national ideas, but
yeah, he also has religion.
Quality, okay, he doesn't have bureaucratic, okay, that's fine.
He can get 15 more percent.
I'm missing
from
out on
religion and
20% more.
15 or 20 with 20 with the policies.
I wouldn't account for policies because everyone can take policies.
Yeah.
So that's
So not that bad, morale wise. Definitely, I would say in a very good position at the moment, seeing his GB's like just nosediving into grave. So if France takes the advantage of that, that seizes the at least the continental part of the EC, that would be very good.
Yeah.
I would
I
probably.
mean, he doesn't necessarily have to. He still has a lot of Spain to digest, and I think the biggest thing for France is that he has now like an ally in Europe that can that's actually alive.
Oh yeah,
He had this undead Tuscany sitting there.
the famous PTZ Nabihov alliance.
Yeah.
They did it again.
Hey man, we swapped roles this
purposefully-
season.
I purposefully seeded them on Florence and France so they would fight, and they still allied. Oh god. But yeah, France doing relatively well. I forgot his victory cards. 2k on Tuscany. He has the 1k on Asturias. So I'm guessing he's not going for the 2k. And yeah, let's look at the buildings. Production fully built up. Just the the shit trade goods that are not. Manufacture is
Building a lot of universities right now. If you check.
yeah, getting ready to dev. I'm gonna assume. I can build a lot more manpower as well.
Yeah.
A fair bit more force limit, so yeah, France can still scale quite well.
Yeah.
Let's see how Crownlands or governing capacity is looking.
That's fine.
Over Yeah, I definitely.
He could do the tax burning thing to get more money to get the manpower buildings and just drop his governing capacity so that if he did devs, he doesn't go over.
Yeah, he has quite a bit of text that he
Yeah.
can burn. 34 dev, 31.
It's
I
actually a
don't
lot
know
of
if I would
money.
do it to 29.
I guess it goes through all everything. It's maybe like 2 or 3k ducats he could put towards building.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, France in a quite good spot, I would say.
Yeah.
The only thing is whether he decides to capitalize on GB dying or not. I would definitely do it myself, but Nabi is in honorable
Don't
mention.
abuse the podcast to spread propaganda, yeah?
Okay, okay. So
Okay.
let's switch
Italy
to
or
GB
Australia?
then. Sorry?
Not mainland first, like Italy, Australia? Okay.
Well, no, I was
GB.
gonna do GB and then keep going like rightwards, you know. GB at max loans, losing 337 a month, and that's being at force limit, not over. He's over naval force limit, although all of his heavies are locked in Ireland by Malaya's navy.
An advice here, if you talk about his navy, because it's currently parked next to the English Channel, and there are a lot of pirates in the English Channel. What you can do: set the heavy fleet that's sitting idle in your port to hunt pirates and go to port while at war. That way, you still count towards the pirate hunting, and they actually helped you to keep up your economy.
That's
At this point,
good
it
advice,
doesn't
but
still.
didn't we rule that an exploit?
That's normal. It's just. I wouldn't say that's an
Not how
exploit. I mean, you
it
can
works.
also like privateer from the trade node. It's so hard to see, especially pirate hunting, because you don't change the flag.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, hunt pirates. Click the stay at port, and you manage to recover some income.
Yeah, but I think his economy is unrecoverable at this point without
Yeah,
bankruptcy.
321 interest. So he's definitely going bankrupt soon. And I'm gonna give a little insight on the Diplo here. I offered him a deal where he loses Caribbean, he loses Mexico, and he loses Louisiana. But we're not gonna kill him. And I think that's the best deal he can get here, because the moment he goes bankrupt, we can just land in London. He does have quite a bit of manpower left, but he's still going to be losing money even after his bankruptcy if we keep pirating the channel. And I don't think he's going to be able to survive another sea lion when bankrupt. So I would definitely recommend taking the deal. That's not being biased, trying not to be biased at least, because I think that the GB with 13 colonies in Canada after one bankruptcy is still going to be fairly strong. Like, he just needs to consolidate his colonies, and he still has. Does he? Oh, he can't build while they're occupied, obviously. But yeah, if he consolidates the 13C in Canada, I think he can still be quite strong and survive. But again, it's up to the player what he wants to do. I'm guessing he sold a lot of crown land and ruined the setup because of the war. Although still recoverable, because they're at half what the nobility has or less. He has his golden era right now. Yeah, what do you advise here, Nibor? Because it's hard for me not to be biased.
I mean, I will probably try and find a deal. Like,
Find a deal with Malaya to cut over Portugal? No.
You tried that.
No,
Find a
not-
deal,
not-
like get out of this war and make new Diplo, because I
Yeah,
don't
the
think.
thing is, before the war started, he betrayed France and joined Westphalia in the war. So he kind of got rid of his France alliance that way. He also refused deals with Portugal. He refused deals with Malaya. So I think he burnt most of his bridges right now.
At best advice always, like, just talk to everyone, and just sometimes it opens no doors. And that's the only thing you can do. Just try and
Okay.
just
In your
maybe
honest
something.
opinion, do you think that losing Texas, Caribbean, and Louisiana is a bad deal in this situation?
No, I don't think so. Like, we also saw in season 27 it was, where you only had to lose the King Colony and Canada. Like, GB was really strong.
That happened. That losing these three are like 100 war score. All three?
It's less than 100 war score. He doesn't really have a lot
This?
of land here.
Wow.
Really?
Wow. Isn't Luciana even like not even his subject? Isn't it
No,
Spanish?
no, he has
Yeah.
this here. That's all he
Okay.
has. So
Okay,
it's,
I thought like you.
it's less than 100 war score. It's I don't think it's a bad deal, but again, I am biased because I'm the enemy
I
here.
would take it. I would take it as.
I
great
think
for
if
him.
that's in the deal and you trust that the other side keeps up to the deal, then it's a fine deal. And then just consolidate and try to find new opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Because
for
this
England, in my
roaching at
opinion.
times is not the right thing. Because roaching just means you go. It
Yeah,
usually leads to the downward.
roaching when you're not dead doesn't make any sense. Like you should always try and recover your nation first. Yeah, I think that's about it for England. I don't think there's much point looking at this colony because it's fully occupied now, and I don't think he has. Canada's not his because it's Friesland. Quebec is Norwegian.
What?
But
Then,
yeah,
think out of this war and get a Canada yourself. Dude.
yeah, he already has here, and he can very easily just roll over all of this and make a Canada colonial.
Yeah.
Use the new island troops to eat all this stuff. Yeah.
I believe Friesland is his subject too. I thought I checked
It's
that
not.
at one point.
It's not.
No.
Friesland is independent.
Interesting.
I'm surprised by because it borders Westphalia. It borders Britain. Like anyone who could have vassalized Friesland would get all of Canada. So it's a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's a bit weird, but and I also, as Portugal, had
Indian
an
Canada
opportunity.
in the making. I see a vision here. Indian Canada in the making.
I also had an opportunity as Portugal to grab Canada during the war, but I wanted to stick to the deal. Because I can land a colonist anywhere here and just take it over from Friesland. But again, I just wanted to stick to the deal that I offered them for now. But yeah, that's it for GB then. You heard it from them, not from me, because again, I am biased. But yeah, and again, props to La Plata player for being a Mega Chad and organizing a Sea Lion on his own as a colony. That was just very impressive.
We need a big war in Europe. This is
big war in Europe, then don't look at Westphalia because this is a bit of a smoldering wreck right now.
No, Westphalia is gonna be the field of the war. We're gonna fight it.
Westphalia is stronger than France. I don't know what you're talking about.
What? It has an army of 13 right now.
Yeah, what happened here? Did he just
He bankrupted someone.
I kept telling him.
It's weird
Don't-
what happened. He unconned to Italy and fought me instead of the other way around. I don't know why.
I kept telling him to get out of the Italy war. Like PTZ was offering him a white piece and everything,
But,
and he just didn't.
wasn't
want to.
Prussia helping against France, or was just Mitch doing Mitch Diplo?
I think Mitch doing Mitch Diplo. I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened here, but Westphalia is considerably weaker than it was last podcast. Let's see what's happening here.
Because now, like, he's losing a lot of Rhineland money because France got some trade power there.
Yeah.
Last time this trade note was 30 ducats, now it's 16. So, yeah.
27 inflation, so that's gonna take a while to clear. -2 stab, minus 70 prestige. Definitely not doing too hot right now. His morale is tanked because of bankruptcy. Yeah, even without bankruptcy, I don't think it competes with France anymore.
Still no money in the bank. I like, if he... Okay, it's no prosperity right now, but, like, his income is 140 ducats.
He can
Does he
recover.
have-
He has forts everywhere, so prosperity is gonna come back quite quick, I think.
Okay, yeah.
He just
Does he
needs
have-
to stab up. Go ahead.
Does he have truces with France? And he
No
didn't?
truce with France at the moment.
I'm not gonna end him. I promised I'm not gonna end until bankruptcy's over and shit like that. So.
Nabihov is a very wholesome person.
Why
so-
then? Why is he still in the bankruptcy? Like, after the France war, did he do a bankruptcy build? Or why is he bankrupt now?
I think it's going away soon. Oh, 4 years. Yikes! I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that means,
I think he tried to
he was
recover and
building.
failed.
He was building and he 7 years and stuff like that. So.
Okay, he did a
has,
bankruptcy
he
build.
has all of his manufacturers built pretty much.
Okay.
A lot of
Yeah.
manufacture is missing though. A lot of yellow shit here. Still has quite a bit to build up. I'm not quite sure what happened here. But yeah, he kept getting advice to get out of the Italy war, didn't want to, and now this happened. Although I think it's not a really dead situation. He has the same opportunity that France has to go into EC and maybe snag Friesland and get the Canada colony. It's always a good opportunity. I don't think he has a trade deal with England anymore. Finally realized he was getting shafted, or England couldn't pay. But what was happening last session was I think Lubeck was getting drained by 30 from Prussia and Westphalia, and they were getting subbed by like half that. So yeah. As far as Westphalia goes, I think that's it. There's not much else to say for a nation that's in
To
bankruptcy.
be honest, as Great Britain, I would not answer to any of Westphalia and Prussia. I would just take the trade.
He can't though.
Yeah,
Because
SGB just place a trade fleet there, SGB, and take the money.
That's what I'm saying. Just put
Yeah.
like 100 lights. They can
GB
just shut
does-
up.
well,
They can't do shit to it,
I
man.
mean, after the war, but right now he can't. And they also have Lubeck and Hamburg as vassals, so they do have quite a bit of trade power here. And I don't know if GB wants to piss off more people, because he burned his bridge with France, he burned his bridge with Portugal, with Malaya. I don't know if he wants to piss off Westphalia and Prussia too, and just completely alienate himself, because he's gonna need an expansion route. So I'm thinking after this war, if he survives, GB is gonna need to either talk to France and go into Lubeck, or talk to them and go into France. Something needs to happen. But yeah, as Westphalia, I would probably be reaching out to GB and trying to make an ally there. But yeah, kind of a dire situation here if France doesn't honor what he just said, but
No.
That's about it for Westphalia. After he recovers from bankruptcy, he's going to be a very solid country, but right now, not doing too hot.
No.
Let's look at Prussia.
Except Prussia,
Prussia's still weaker than Westphalia somehow, economically.
it's just like, look at this trade setup, must be awful, I think. It's, he's not taking trade power away from Bohemia, which like drains ducats in Saxony. 7 ducats, yeah, that could be his ducats.
No, he's transferring from Vienna. Is that what you mean?
No, from Lübeck. He's only taking trade power from Lübeck, but he does not take trade
Oh.
power from Sweden or Bohemia.
Yeah, I don't.
And
And they have zero liberty desire, both Sweden and him. I don't understand why he's doing that. That's.
I mean, he's integrating both of them at least, so
But-
soon that's going to be solved.
I mean, you might as well, because they have zero liberty desire. But yeah, economically, there's a lot to improve on here. He's not got any money banked, unlike a lot of the countries that we've seen previously. Has quite good manufactories left to build.
Also, is there a deal for Norway, or why is like Norway the remnants of Denmark? Like,
I
would
don't
just
know, and Norway also has a colony in Quebec, so
Yeah.
you know it's weird leaving it alive or at least independent, because if you vassalize this, or if you, I think if you kill Denmark, it automatically becomes your PU, right?
No, it becomes independent.
Oh,
PUs, only if it's a vessel, then it becomes your vessel.
I
But
see.
PUs become independent.
So yeah, then kill Denmark and vassalize Norway. It's got wait, how the fuck is Norway? Oh, it has a colonist in his national ideas. I see.
There's a lot of AI still living.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Asturian Greenland. This new world is cursed. Oh god. Alright, so back to Prussia.
Yeah.
So building wise, I already looked at that. Hasn't
Generals.
got this golden era yet. Might want to deal with that. Generals are just fucking hot. God, that's nice.
Prussia in a nutshell.
Morale isn't that amazing. I mean, it's good for compared to France and Westphalia, but not that amazing. He does have a morale advisor though, so that's why.
By the way, he has 100 professionalism also. So,
No,
army
he doesn't.
tradition.
He has
No.
52.
Army tradition.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
so in that respect, it's not that amazing. His morale was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because my morale is my army tradition is half, like 50 or something.
Hmm.
So that's like 12%.
He also
morale.
has a little bit more dev to do, and I don't understand again why he's not, because half his country almost is below 20, and this Prussia you do want to go a little bit taller.
He's sitting at 0 stat. Like, you can always go to one step.
Yeah,
Maybe
you
just
can.
hit that event, but
That's I guess that's why his economy sucks. Is he has no prosperity, does he?
he has half in his nation, but it should be everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, especially since he's been at peace. That's weird.
And is Prussia just burn the taxation development? Because you have limited government capacity, just burn it, get them extra money, and from that build stuff that actually gives you something.
Yeah.
Is Prussia nerfed in any way? Like the government?
It
or
doesn't
youth?
get discipline, but it gets up to 20% force limit from its government.
Okay. And the ideas?
It's
I think the ideas
instead
are
of
the
20
same.
morale, it's 10 morale. I think the morale one was halved. That's the only change. So it's still very good, but it's not like broken.
Yeah, Prussia in the previous couple of campaigns was always like one of the most strongest nations. Yeah, I'd say that's about it for Prussia. Very little to say in this corner of the world with these German micronations. Let's look at Italy. Note on Prussian diplomacy, allied to Commonwealth and Westphalia. Rivaled with Italy, France, and Rome. So he's pretty much just getting used as a rump state right now, as a vassal from like Westphalia and Commonwealth. Although I'm not sure if he helped Westphalia versus France and Italy at all. I would definitely say for Prussia to mop up Norway unless you have a deal with someone for it. But I don't see why anyone else would have rights to Norway, because you can always use more land. And then I think he's probably just gonna have to go either into Hungary or into Italy.
Hungary is an interesting story, but we're going to talk about that when we get to PLC.
Or
But
he can always turn on Westphalia and unite Germany. I think that would be a very good move if he could get an alliance with France. But the problem there is that PLC is kind of keeping him in check. I think if he turned on Westphalia, PLC would probably stump him. Although if he ever wanted to turn on Westphalia, now would be the time, seeing as he's bankrupt, and it would be just an easy mop-up. And instead of having two very weak and easy to look over nations here, you would have one very strong one.
yeah, I mean, I heard some stories that PSC was bullying Prussia into giving him stuff in Stockholm, like the trade notes and the Baltic trade notes, after our podcast. But yeah, so eating Westphalia would like make him like indefinitely the Commonwealth bitch. So maybe he's not so inclined to do that.
Doesn't matter, to be honest. France is gonna kill everybody except Italy. Unless
Except
Italy
Italy.
doesn't give victory card, then it's dead.
Alright, let's look at Italy now. The French lover.
Yeah, like
He managed to
kudos to
recover.
PTZ to make this undead thing into an actual nation.
PTZ always recovers. He fights till the end and manages to do
Also,
something.
like,
And this should be a note to GB, by the way, because like PTZ was in a much more dire situation than GB is right now, and instead of just roaching and like destroying his nation, he actually recovered it and is now one of the strongest in Europe. Not quite there yet, but stronger than Prussia already, and getting ready to compete with Westphalia. I would say stronger than Prussia, definitely economically, and catching up military.
But quality-wise, Prussia just shits on Italy still.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think Italy can scale a lot higher. Cause
Nah, it doesn't shit. What's the force limit like?
They have same force limit. The difference is Prussia has 7 morale, Italy has 5 morale.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but
like,
again, the thing is, Italy can scale a lot better. I'm gonna assume, I haven't looked at the buildings yet, but yeah.
yeah, I think he can. It's just in a better position to make money long term, and Prussia's just always going to be short on the ducats. So
62. Okay. So I mean, a couple of battles, he'll pump up some morale, and prestige 36.
Italy also doesn't have a morale advisor, that's why he's somewhat lower. So he can catch up on that, and yeah, he doesn't have the morale from Protestantism, which Prussia does have. So there's 15% difference there, which he can turn on. And I don't know if Prussia had the policy as well. Let's look.
Italy doesn't have any manpower, so.
Yeah, Italy, no manpower though. But again, Italy has a lot of room to scale. I think he's not fully dev'd yet.
Yeah, I mean he was like in an undead state for a long time, so being on the map is already an achievement, and he can go places. Although he messed up a bankruptcy build, like right now it's prime time in Italy. He built his forts he updated all his forts in a bankruptcy build, and then bankrupted a bit too early. So the upgrade of the fort deleted the fort, but didn't refund him with the downgraded fort, but just straight up removed them.
Yeah, I can see
So
he's
like,
missing forts in Como and Torino.
so like, if someone wants to go to Italy, yeah, the doors are wide open.
Well, Prussia still has to deal with one mountain fort, but that's a lot easier
Yeah.
than the normal Italian setup.
I think like Prussia, as long as Australia is a shitty state, like he would have to pray that PLC commits, and then France doesn't protect Italy or something. So I don't.
So yeah,
Oh.
note on Italian diplomacy allied with France, which if you're new to the server must be a surprise, but the Nabiho PTZ alliance happens every game, so expect that in the future. Besides that, rivaled with Portugal. I don't know why he rivaled me. Rivaled with Westphalia and Prussia. Kind of rude that he rivaled me, to be honest, as I've been subsidizing him for the last 10 years.
Maybe as many weak nations around, like I think he may not be able to rival Rum.
I was just kidding. I don't think he can rival anyone else. He can rival
He's
France
not
or me.
high in power position, so
So I definitely think it's an easy choice here between France and me. But yeah, that's it for Italy. We're looking at Commonwealth next, and that's the last one.
yeah.
He managed to fix his trade setup. He's still not collecting at Baltic though. Like he
It's
owns
so messed up.
Stockholm.
What's his income like? What's his income like? Let me see.
260, which isn't
Dude,
very good
he's
for a
gonna
nation
lose
this
like
big.
60 ducats.
He's collecting in Krakow, Kiev, and Novgorod. So it's really
Yeah, the thing is, like, he's losing the Polish crown, like, in a year. So he's gonna be very bad state economically. He already can't maintain his force limit. Although he's overextended, that's probably what's hurting him a lot. He overextended quite a bit in the war with Rum. He got a lot of Constantinople. I would definitely like. I don't know why he hasn't switched to Baltic yet. He can get the majority here. He owns all of the centers of trade. He's not transferring trade from any of them.
yeah, it's also sick. Why is Livonian also?
I don't know. They're all pissed off with him.
Overextension maybe? Does it
Yeah.
give him-
But I don't know. Doesn't look like it increases it by a lot.
I mean, Livonian order. It's a question why he doesn't have it integrated yet. I think he just has to integrate it, and then he can do the Baltic trade. Latest.
Yeah, needs to
But, yeah.
integrate all of them. Or he can just seize Riga. If
Yeah, just
First.
integrate it. And
let's see how much seizing Riga would piss them off. Pay off their debts to calm them down a little bit. Where's the Seas province? Oh, there it is.
yeah,
Oh god.
they don't like that.
Okay,
don't
yeah,
take height.
they don't like that at all, and I don't think you can dev that away. Although they do have some good land to dev. Yeah, they're gonna be pissed off. Don't seize Riga. Just start integrating them and maybe dev them a little bit and then transfer trade. Don't seize. But yeah, you definitely should switch to Baltic soon because you're just gonna be bleeding money when the age
Can also
changes.
just improve relation.
Sorry?
Improve relations with subjects.
Oh yeah, they're definitely. He has
Yeah.
2 free diplomats and all his subjects are on low relations relatively. So yeah, he managed to fix his nobility though. Very low manpower. Like
Yeah,
considering that he has nobility fixed. Very wide
I think
nation,
it's,
but
He's also zero step.
Poor, so he can't build the manpower buildings, maybe? That he doesn't have the manpower manufactories?
let's look. Yeah,
Or like manufactories in general are a bit of an abundance in his nation.
yeah, he's definitely needs to build a lot of shit like manpower buildings, the barracks, the manufactories. He only has force limit buildings. You never build force limit buildings first. When I did my first
Yeah.
bankruptcy build here on Greenskin Gaming, I became a meme because I did a bankruptcy build as Russia, and I exclusively built force limit buildings, and then I had like 1 million force limit, and I could maintain like 200,000. So learn from that,
I remember.
and never build force limit buildings first. That's your last priority. You go money.
Power, money, and then.
Well,
yeah.
I would go money first in his case because he's going to be losing a lot of money when the age changes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his golden era, so it's going to be a problem for him. Although he can reduce his army maintenance, which he's keeping up now for some reason.
How big of an army is he running right now?
Well,
He's running.
if he reduces army maintenance, it's a 60 ducat difference. So I think that's pretty big. Seeing as he's not in a war, I would definitely reduce maintenance. And he's not even drilling. Although he might be having gravels, that's probably why. Yeah, he has sarcastic
I mean, with 100 overextension, you will have to fight some rebels.
Yeah. So definitely. The thing is, like, he has 100 overextension now for the last like couple months in game, but he hasn't really built anything in general. So I'm gonna guess that he's been keeping the army maintenance up like at all times because he hasn't really been doing much with his money, other than that. So
he doesn't have any income. Like even if he is not paying for his army, the surplus he's running is not really high, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we have been talking about, like I said, I think two podcasts ago that just PSC needs to get his money in order, and he has not done it. He went around like for player wars, did all the other shit, but he was not focusing on getting his economy in order, and that's actually the difference between the good and the bad PLC, because PLC always has manpower, always has army quality. A PLC makes it or breaks it with the money. So and that's
I'm just gonna try and switch his trade setup and see if that fixes it. He's running 60 right now. He only has 2 merchants is the problem. So he's gonna be losing money somewhere, either way.
Can he make it trade company somewhere like Siberia or White Sea?
Let's see what happens when I switch the main trade city to Baltic and move the merchant from Kiev to Novgorod.
They moved the one from Kiev to Krakow. Move the one from Kiev. You need a month fix so you can transfer.
Yep.
Because right now, because it used to be the old center of trade. Now set it to in Krakow to transfer.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work until he.
Okay, Russia still has a lot of trade power because he owns the downstream stuff. And right now, like if you look at his trade power, it should get like slashed in half because he's overextended.
He's losing 30. I would say Prussia don't take anything. I'll die.
Yeah,
like
Prussia,
why is it
Prussia needs to move his merchant. Oh, it's Lubeck actually. It's not Prussia. That's the problem.
Oh.
It's Lubeck that's pulling. He needs to upgrade his centers of trade and start transferring trade from Riga. And when he fixes his overextension, I think it should be safe to move to Baltic. Take a test game and figure it out. I would
maybe make Novgorod your frame node, like push Crimea into Kiev, into Novgorod, and also collect in Krakow, and just have Baltic as an insulation trade node, so that Novgorod doesn't bleed as much.
He also needs to set up a trade company somewhere and get more merchants because he's having that as a problem right now. And he went innovative instead of trade. I would have definitely gone trade here. So.
Next institution gives him a merchant. So
did he not embrace it yet? No, he didn't. Okay.
He should also make trade.
Not many nations have it embraced. Yeah, it's.
Alright.
By the way, the Hungary thing. The Hungary thing. Before I said.
The Hungary.
I don't know if you noticed, because Commonwealth at the end of last session already popped his missions to get the PUCB on Hungary, and it was running out. The CB was running out before its truce with Hungary. So he wrote truce broke Hungary to get the PU. In the run war, his PU with Hungary broke.
Oh, God.
And if you check now the diplomatic tab of Hungary, it's just wholesome.
Hey man.
Oh, God, that's unlucky. How did the PU break?
It was just he said like it was positive for a month or so, and then like he didn't looked at it, and then a year later his ruler died and it broke. So
Oh god, yikes! That fucking sucks.
Yeah, he did not have enough time to improve relations, most
yeah,
likely.
That
his ruler
sucks.
died
That's
too early.
600 dev. Jesus.
Yeah. So and
That's,
yeah, and now
that
it's
must be frustrating. All right, let's do the assessments. I would say Punjab definitely the strongest now.
Uh, yeah, exactly.
I don't think
Biggest
there's.
winner of the session.
Sorry,
Question: who would be your biggest winner of the session?
Punjab again.
No,
You,
I mean like compared to where they were last session to where they are this session.
probably Italy because it survived. But yeah, you were also quite. You weren't near the number one spot, and you managed to overtake it as much to credit your own, like what you did, but also like the fact that no one else did anything profitable. So
Hindustan like just buffed up a lot this session just by being at war, consolidating Jenica forming Hindustan, and Ava like finally eating China. They
yeah, all three of the Asians, excluding Tibet, did really well last session, I'd say. So I think at the moment Punjab's number one, Hindustan number two, and then number three would probably be Ava or Malaya right now. So top three are in Asia at the moment.
Hindustan?
I
What's
think
Hindustan
Ava or
like?
PSC. The thing PSC needs someone to bankroll him
Sorry?
because he doesn't have the. Like if someone would bankroll PLC could be up there.
Yeah, but
Well,
on his own, I think he's not top three anymore because, like especially when the age ends in a year, he's not going to be able to maintain like a fraction of his force limit.
Yeah,
Wait, how strong is Hindustan? Let's see.
Let's look at Hindustan for a moment for you.
Hindustan is second highest income in the world.
443
Ah,
income,
they're strong. strong.
334 force limit, and still has a lot of force limit to build. I think, yeah, a decent amount that he just has to fix up. So yeah, Hindustan is quite strong.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say Punjab, then Hindustan, and then I'm torn between Ava and Malaya. I would say Malaya, to be honest, especially after Malaya gets Mexico, which is gonna happen really quickly.
I think the big difference is Malaya can't die because if he loses his like main hand loading, he's just gonna be now I'm gonna blockade you and just sit there.
Yeah.
So Malaya is kind of hard to touch because I don't think Portuguese Navy can stand up to Malayan.
Oh no way. I have half the navy that he does. I think he has
Yeah.
100 heavies. I have 38. So another chance.
I don't like GBR with Irish ideas. I hate that shit. I like GBR
Yeah,
with GBR ideas.
I don't get this Irish idea hype. It's GB idea. It's just awesome for GB. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you go Irish ideas, you need to commit hard to land. You don't go Irish ideas and then be like, oh, I still want to colonize. Oh, I still want to fuck around in the New World. Oh, I want to int Portugal and get Caribbean. Like, that's retarded. You don't do
If
that.
you go Irish ideas, you conquer France.
Yeah, or Lubeck,
die.
or like die, you know. But saying I'm gonna go Irish ideas and then trying to wing colonies, like it doesn't really work. Because like the thing is, in the last war, even without Malaya, just because I noticed I took a 1 versus 1 battle with GB and I wiped his fleet. Like with I think I had like 15 heavies less than him, but I had the amazing admiral from my missions, and I had I think 0.5 morale more than him. So like GB going Irish ideas and then committing into colonies doesn't make any sense. Which is another reason I'm telling Bora to just give up on this shit. Take 13C in Canada and do what's good for an Irish GB. You know.
I mean, at this point, like just abandon exploration, abandon whatever else he has, and just go double down military.
Yes, exactly.
Still get maritime ideas because you're still an island nation. And I don't get why neither GB or Malaya have maritime yet. I think because one didn't get, the other didn't have to as well. But it gives so much just reinsurance to be safe on your islands and do stuff.
I think Ethiopia is still a very honorable mention. I think he's probably competing for the 3rd spot.
Did we just finish?
Scale, but he's still powerful. He just
he just didn't scale at all last session. Like he did manage to move his node to Zanzibar, which is pretty big, but he still has so much deving and so much building to do. At the moment, I think the nation with the most potential is number one Malaya because he's getting all the colonies, and number two, very close to Malaya, is Ethiopia because of the amount of land he has here that he has to dev and build up.
Since we have reached 1600, maybe a look at the scoreboard right now. Because it's getting slowly more relevant.
Yeah. Tibet is number one. I'm guessing because he owns the victory card. Oh.
Yeah, he has 2 victory cards. Yes,
Oh,
he has
yeah.
one. Punjab second, Malaya, then. Yeah.
What's going to be really big is when people start firing hegemons, and I think Malaya is getting very close to firing a naval hegemon. And I don't see anyone taking that away from him easily.
No, like, I don't think anyone could snipe a Malaya hegemon right now.
And I would definitely recommend the naval hegemon for Malaya, even besides the score, because the 20% cannon damage from backline is major, especially because you're going to have a endless supply of infantry from the colonies. Buffing your cannons is like really important.
On the other hand, economic hegemon, more money, and 10% mercenary discipline can be really handy. Yeah, don't underestimate that. That's something that like an S26 had a GB player floating. Having this extra discipline, the extra good produced.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I find it weird how military hegemon is almost the worst for militaries.
oh, it is the worst for your militaries.
I mean, if you have a lot of manpower, if you have a big manpower-based army, the movement speed and land attrition is nice.
Movement speed
because
is
land
very
attrition
nice.
stacks
Siege
with
ability is
defensive.
nice.
I think we
So
need to buff the military hegemon in the mod, to be honest, because it doesn't compete with the other two like at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
since
nice,
it's
but
a
it's not really
score-based game,
worth
we
it.
could also go and nerf the other two. Because it's already giving you a huge boost in score.
Yeah.
Deep blue doesn't make sense. It gives you fucking cannon damage. What the? Like,
Yep.
why would you have that? Why would you have cannon damage if you're good at
Because
sea?
you mastered your cannons on sea, so you have good cannons on land.
Exactly.
True.
Anyway, boys,
Okay,
I'm gonna have to end the podcast here. I have to go and get ready for work.
Someone sum up what was said about my country. I just got home.
You're Prussia.
Yeah.
Let me take a look again.
Just watch the podcast.
Yeah, just watch.
No, I know. I'm gonna watch the podcast. I was just wondering if you
Yeah,
guys
what the fuck
wanted
you doing?
had any advice
Hey,
directly
Mitch.
for me.
Remember
Yeah?
to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below.
But you want
Yeah,
the real,
I mean,
you
finish
want
the
the real
podcast.
advice.